On the news, over 1,000 persons still missing, 200 bodies recovered after devastating Mokwa flood in Niger State. Troops foil terrorist attack in Zamfara. CDS Musa seeks Nigerian support in terror fight. And APC denies granting automatic ticket to National Assembly members. And thanks for joining us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Sibisola Atiku. The death toll from the devastating Mokwa flood in Niger State on Friday has risen to 200, with over 1,000 people still missing. Deputy Governor of the state, Yakubu Garba, disclosed this when presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, paid a condolence visit to the Governor, Muhammad Bago, at the Government House in Minna. Garba said the number of casualties continues to rise as families desperately search for missing loved ones, with more than 3,000 people displaced and over 2,000 houses affected by the flood. In response to the disaster, President Bola Tinubu on Saturday dispatched a high-level delegation to Niger State to assess the situation and support relief efforts. Moving on, in politics, the All Progressives Congress APC has denied widespread reports suggesting it has granted automatic tickets to all current members of the National Assembly, labeling the information as fake news. This declaration comes amid growing speculation over the party's internal nomination strategies ahead of the next election cycle. In a statement released on Tuesday by the party's National Publicity Secretary Felix Morka, the APC urged party members and the public to disregard what it described as a purported breaking news report falsely attributed to the party. Morka added that official party decisions will be communicated through verified channels. The United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, in collaboration with the Borno State government, has organized a one-day satellite event aimed at highlighting the importance of child rights and justice reform, particularly in conflict-affected regions. The event, which took place in Maiduguri, the state capital, was part of the Strive Juvenile Project, an initiative funded by the European Union, which seeks to strengthen the protection of children from terrorism and violent extremism. TV360's correspondent Solomon Josiah completes the report.
The engagement serves to build the capacity of justice sector actors, including judges, prosecutors, police and social workers, equipping them with the tools to handle cases involving minors in a manner consistent with international standard and Nigeria's Child Rights Act. It is also expected to reinforce the Borno State government's commitment to child protection policies and create opportunities for improved collaboration between government agencies, civil societies and international partners. Representing the Borno State Governor, the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Hawa Abubakar emphasized the state government's commitment to safeguarding children's rights and integrating them into broader peace-building efforts.
Today's theme, preventing and responding to violence against children by terrorists and violent extremist groups, speaks to the very heart of our collective responsibility and experience in Borno State. For over a decade, our state has stood at the epicenter of violent extremism in the Lake Chad Basin. Children in particular have borne the heaviest burdens, abducted from their homes and schools, recruited into armed groups, subjected to forced marriages, indoctrination, and other unspeakable violations. These experiences have left deep scars, both physical, emotional, and societal. Yet, despite the enormity of these challenges, we gather here today not in despair, but with determination and purpose. We are here to say Borno is rising and our children must rise with us.
Providing context to the Strive Juvenile Initiative, the UNODC shared insight from its global data on children affected by crime and violence, underscoring the urgent need for coordinated intervention that prioritize children's welfare and legal protection.
So what are we doing about education? What are we doing about making sure that today their voice are heard so they can be part of the vibrant community that will lead the development of this place. One important data that we need to have. West Africa is home to close to 60% of youth. Who will lead the development of our beloved region if that's not those youth? So investing of them is not lost. It is actually an opportunity for development.
Members of the Borno State Children's Parliament also delivered remarks commending the initiative and describing the event as a vital step towards ensuring that children's voices are heard in policy-making processes that affect their future.
We are the voice for the children because children are the leaders of tomorrow and their voices need to be heard. Their voices are strong and yet impactful.
Looking at the horrific experiences, especially children in the Sahel region have faced regarding insurgency, where our education was brutally disrupted, our parents murdered, our teachers killed. So looking at our horrific experiences, I think this event is a step forward to see how we can come together with partners, international allies, CSOs, government officials, and even us, the children as well, to see how we can proffer solutions, tangible solutions that reach children at the grassroots regarding insurgency in the northeast of Nigeria.
With continued collaboration between local authorities, international partners, and the communities themselves, speakers expressed confidence that a safer and more inclusive future for the next generation is within reach. Solomon Josiah, TV360, Borno.
On security, coordinated airstrikes by the air component of Operation Fasanyama have killed over 20 armed terrorists and destroyed more than 21 motorcycles during an air operation in Zamfara State. The operation, carried out in the general area south of Maigalma in the Maru local government area of the state, was aimed at halting a planned large-scale attack on vulnerable communities by armed bandits. In a statement, the Director of Public Relations and Information, Nigerian Air Force Air Commodore Ehimen Ejodame, disclosed that intelligence received indicates that a significant number of terrorists were massing and preparing to strike unsuspecting settlements. On his part, the Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa has asked Nigerians to support the armed forces in its quest to combat violent groups and insurgents in the country. Speaking at the first Voice of Nigeria Forum in Abuja on Tuesday, General Musa emphasized the need for trust, civic engagement, and responsible narratives as keys to addressing insecurity. As Nigeria continues to grapple with a significant HIV epidemic, with an estimated 2 million people living with HIV as of 2023, according to the latest national data, among the 36 states, Rivers, Benue, Akwa Ibom and Lagos have emerged as the top states with the highest number of HIV cases, highlighting regional disparities in the country's fight against the epidemic. These states have been identified as high-burden areas, prompting targeted interventions aimed at curbing the spread of the virus. TV360's Ogechukwu Kekwe completes this next report.
For HIV spectrum estimates released by the National Agency for the Control of AIDS reveal that Nigeria currently has over 2 million people living with HIV, with Rivers State, Benue, Akwa Ibom and Lagos states topping the list. Factors such as increased population, rural-urban migration, and lack of properly governed areas are listed among major contributors to the rapid spread of the virus in these states.
There are many small ungoverned places. What does that mean? That means the measures which government takes doesn't capture this population. Now you can talk about the slum areas, areas where they are a bit hard to reach places within the metropolis in terms of they do not have health workers penetrating these areas and going there to carry out essential campaigns.
For Lagos State, which ranks 4th, the city's large population size and the high number of residents in slums contributes significantly to the high number of HIV cases.
Lagos, we know, is a big city where people come in all the time. So it needs people to continue to, the response to continue rapidly, because as we are trying to eliminate HIV, bring the HIV down, you discover that we have more influx of people coming into Lagos, and some people may be coming in with the virus.
Health experts highlight the need for epidemic control, which will require collaborative efforts from government agencies, non-governmental organizations, healthcare providers, and community stakeholders.
Use the multiplicity of the media, that is especially radio and television, of course, to kind of help make the campaign spread. And also not to neglect religious centers, both mosques and churches, to use as a means to propagate prevention mechanisms.
We should be looking at those people who drive the epidemic. Those are the people that we should be targeting, like the key population. There should be more response towards the key population.
Despite ongoing challenges, the Nigerian government is intensifying its HIV response. Just recently, the National Agency for the Control of AIDS announced that over $1 billion has been approved for healthcare reforms, including 4.8 billion naira earmarked for HIV treatment in Nigeria's 2024 budget. Ogechukwu Ukekwe, TV360, Lagos.
We'll take a short break here. Still to come on News Now, Uganda military authorities reveal 2 persons died before executing suspected explosive attack in capital Kampala. Stay with us for details.
Hello, Alahaji. Right now I'm in Abuja. No. Hello, Adamu. Right now I'm in Kano. Yes. When I get back, I will just call you. Look, what is wrong with you? I'm talking on the phone and you are gesticulating and doing. What's wrong with you?
Daddy, where exactly are we as we speak?
Are you alright? This is Lagos.
Well, you just lied to someone that we're in Abuja.
Keep quiet. Who told you can tell an elderly person is lying?
Daddy, you just lied. And by lying, you are raising corrupt children for the future of Nigeria. That is corruption, not in my country. Corruption not in my country.
Main stories. The death toll from the devastating Mokwa flood in Niger State on Friday has risen to 200, with over 1,000 people still missing. The Deputy Governor of the state, Yakubu Garba, who disclosed this to the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, at the Government House in Minna, said the number of casualties continues to rise as families desperately search for missing loved ones. We also told you that coordinated airstrikes by the air component of Operation Fasanyama have killed over 20 armed terrorists and destroyed more than 21 motorcycles during an air operation in Zamfara State. On his part, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has asked Nigerians to support the armed forces in its quest to combat violent groups and insurgents in Nigeria. In case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the GoTo app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, the truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
When you go into public office, you must be ready to answer to the people.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On Digi360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians have said in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
Digi360, dissecting the issues.
Let's switch to business news. Tamilore Akinkwole has details. Over to you, Tamilore.
Thank you, Samuel, and welcome to Business News. Now, Vice President Kashim Shettima has announced that Nigeria is actively pursuing a landmark $25 billion undersea gas pipeline project aimed at supplying natural gas to Europe. Shettima disclosed this ambitious initiative during a strategic meeting with executives from Vital Group, the world's largest independent commodity trading company, held at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. According to the Vice President, the proposed pipeline project is part of a broader effort to reposition Nigeria as a key player in the global energy market, while leveraging its vast natural gas reserves to meet growing international demand. And in a move towards climate leadership and sustainable development, the Lagos State government has launched what it termed 80 million clean cook stoves project. The government noted that 80 million stoves would be distributed across Nigeria, with 8 million stoves expected to be shared in Lagos. The special advisor to the Lagos State Governor on Climate Change and Circular Economy, Titilayo Oshodi, unveiled the scale and ambition of the project during a press briefing at Alausa, Ikeja.
Deploy 5 sustainable projects per year across 1,000 communities, including free renewable energy for MSMEs, 2 climate-smart health facilities, health insurance coverage for each beneficiary household, the Pay to Cook initiative that rewards beneficiaries with 10,000 naira monthly, 400 million economic trees to combat deforestation and food insecurity, and much more. Additionally, we will nominate and celebrate LGA, LCDA-based Clean Cook Stove champions, corporate ESG champions, and the Faces of Clean Cooking in Lagos to drive further social and environmental awareness. And might I add, just a quick update that has come from the Greenprint Africa, that we will be transitioning, rather than using pellets of wood as a source of power, as a source of fire, we will be working with briquettes. So what it means is that the firewood producers or sellers will be transitioned to using briquettes so that they're not out of jobs.
This is a project that is rooted in the best practices around the compliance carbon market, specifically what we call the Paris Agreement crediting mechanism. We are operating this project under a specific framework called Article 6.4 ER, or emissions reduction. The aim is to distribute 80 million highly efficient clean cook stoves to combat the climate impact of dirty cooking and also other social impacts of dirty cooking, which disproportionately impact women and children. There is also the potential for massive job creation. We're estimating about 35 million green jobs to be created alongside this project. And essentially, this cuts across industry from assembling, repairing the stoves to jobs within afforestation, reforestation, and other nature-based solutions. The end aim is to generate valuable carbon that can be sold on the international markets, and this is a minimum quantum of about 1.2 billion tons.
And still in business, the Nigerian government, through the Debt Management Office, DMO, has opened a new window for subscription to the Nigeria's government savings bond, offering attractive interest rates to retail investors for the month of June. According to details released by the DMO, the offer includes a 2-year savings bond due June 11, 2027, with an annual interest rate of 16.121%, and a 3-year savings bond due June 11, 2028, offering a higher return of 17.121% per annum. The offer opened on June 2, 2025 and will close on June 6, 2025, while settlement is scheduled for June 11, 2025, while coupon payment will be made quarterly on September 11, December 11, March 11, and June 11 throughout the lifespan of the bonds. There, and be back with Stock Market Report. And on stock, Nigeria's equities market maintained its bullish trajectory on Tuesday, gaining 0.37% as investors' confidence remained strong. The market capitalization also rose to 70.9 trillion naira, extending the positive sentiment witnessed at the start of the trading week. Now, a total of 128 listed equities participated in the day's trading on the Nigerian exchange, with 36 stocks recording gains and 32 posting losses. Now, Sky Shelter Funds led the gainers with the share price appreciation by 10% to close at 226 naira 60 kobo, followed closely by Oniflower, which closed at 22 naira for each shares. Now, at the close of today's section, 622 million shares valued at over 16 billion were exchanged in 17,044 deals. Now, this marks a 20% increase in trading volume and a 16% rise in turnover when compared compared to Monday's session. Now, globally, the U.S. Dow Jones Industrial Average rebounded from Monday's losses, appreciating by 0.32%, leaving only the Japan's Nikkei in the red. And this comes after China's accusation that U.S. violated recent trade agreement. Now, on the foreign exchange front, the Naira traded at 1,620 Naira to the US dollar, 2,050 Naira to the Great British Pound, and 1,720 Naira to the Euros in the parallel market. And that's it on both business and stock market reports. Back to you, Simi, for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Tamilare. And on the foreign scene, Uganda's military authorities have confirmed that 2 suspected terrorists have been killed while attempting to carry out a bomb attack near a Catholic shrine in the capital, Kampala. In an official statement released on Tuesday, the military reported that its forces intercepted and neutralized the 2 armed terrorists in Munyoyo, a suburb of Kampala. The incident occurred ahead of increased pilgrim activity around Catholic shrines, raising concerns about security threats during religious gatherings. Authorities have since heightened security around key locations in the capital and launched an investigation to determine if the suspects were linked to any broader terrorist network. And South Korea's liberal opposition candidate Lee Jae-myung appears set to win the country's snap presidential election according to joint exit polls and early vote counts. The election, held amid political turbulence following the abrupt imposition and subsequent lifting of martial law by ousted conservative President Yoon Suk-yeol, has drawn intense domestic and international scrutiny. With over 31% of ballots counted so far, Lee, who represents the Democratic Party, leads with more than 48% of the votes, ahead of conservative rival Kim Moon-soo, who trailed with 43%. And on sports, the Federal Road Safety Corps has launched an investigation into the tragic road crash that claimed the lives of 22 athletes from Kano State. The zonal commanding officer in charge of Jigawa, Kaduna and Katsina State, Assistant Corps Marshal Ahmed Umar, disclosed this on Monday during a condolence visit to the Kano State Government House. While commiserating with the government and people of Kano, the FRSC commander reiterated the agency's commitment to working closely with the Kano State government to enhance road safety and protect lives. And that's all on News Now. Many thanks for staying with us. We'll see you again next time.